Have you ever been in a situation where during a take an actor starts whispering on you? Or starts screaming even louder than you have your input gain set up? All the time, right? Before, you had to wing it until the take was over and then physically adjust the transmitters on the talent or scare them to death with this sound. Not anymore. With the new IFB100 transmitter, you have the ability to send transport control, timecode, and gain changes to each and every transmitter in a scene for instantaneous correction. This allows you to have fully timecode stamped files that will correlate perfectly with your recorder, as well as change the gain of a transmitter in mid-scene. These features easily revolutionize how we work and can save a take. Let's dive into the IFB100.
The IFB100 is a transmitter that operates in the 2.4 GHz spectrum. It is powered only via 12-volt DC. Just like the STA100 and STA150, this unit has the same type of inputs for receiving or feeding a timecode source and inputting audio into it as well.
First, let's transmit audio from the IFB100 to the TRX992 for use as an IFB feed to your boom operator. In this setting, the TRX992 allows the boom operator to wear one item to transmit audio and receive IFB audio. In this example, Michael is wearing a TRX992 and transmitting audio back to me at my cart. To set up the TRX992, look inside the battery slot for the phantom power switch and the mic line switch. Make sure phantom power is on and mic level is selected. Then, place a battery in the unit and turn it on. Set up your frequency to match to the receiver just as before. Now that the 992 is set up for transmission, let's go ahead and test it out. Say hello, Michael.
Hello. Hey, Thomas, I don't hear you.
Okay, now that we can hear Michael, let's go ahead and set up the IFB100 to send audio back to him. Check it out.
First, connect a Zaxcom approved antenna to the top of the unit. Next, plug in 12-volt DC power to the unit. It will turn on right away. Once powered up, you will notice that the screen is very similar to the transmitters. It has a frequency listed, transport control, and a dBFS meter to let you know the level of audio entering into the unit.
From a free output on your console, send a dedicated audio feed with private line for your boom operator, and connect it to the 5-pin input of the IFB100.
Send tone to the input and use your input trims on the back of the unit to adjust nominal tone. Next, send a timecode feed from your recorder to the timecode input on the side of the IFB100. Press menu 6 times to reach the remote audio frequency change page. This page allows you to change the 2.4 GHz center frequency. The available frequencies are between 2.403 and 2.475. Select a frequency and remember it. We will need to enter it in the transmitters later. Next, enter the extended menu by unplugging, holding in menu, and replugging in the power source. Press menu 3 times until you reach the IFB format page. Ensure that it is set to High Q, which allows audio and timecode transport control to be sent to the transmitters. Press menu 6 times until you reach the Remote Control Group ID page. Set the Group ID to 1. This assigns a number to the IFB100, allowing it to control transmitters with the same group ID. Next, hold in menu to skip back to the beginning of the extended menu, and press menu 6 more times to access the timecode jam mode page. Select Auto Jam. Press menu 1 more time to reach the timecode source page. Select Side Connector to accept a timecode source connected to the timecode input on the side. Restart your IFB100 by unplugging and replugging.
We have now set up the IFB100 to send audio and timecode to any TRX system transmitter on the same frequency. Now all we need to do is tell the transmitters to listen to that frequency.
Press Menu 4 times to reach the IFB format page. Make sure that this is set to High Q, just like we did on the IFB100.
Press Menu once again to reach the IFB Enable page. Make sure that this is set to RX to activate the IFB receiver inside of the transmitter. Press Menu twice to access the IFB frequency page. If it is already set to the same frequency as the IFB100, you will see the RX blocks counting frantically, which means that you are in good shape. If it is not, tune it to the proper frequency. As soon as you land on the correct frequency, you will begin to see the RX blocks start coming in. Next, press Menu 3 times until you reach the Timecode Jam Mode page. Set this to Auto Jam. Press Menu again to access the Timecode Source page and set this to IFB RF.
These last two settings told the transmitter to receive timecode continuously from the IFB100 wirelessly. No more manual jamming is required.
Next, press Menu twice until you reach the Remote Control Group ID page. Set the group ID to 1. This tells the device that it can be controlled by a certain IFB100 transmitter.
Press Menu again to reach the Remote Control Unit ID page. It allows you to assign a number to each transmitter so you can control them independently from one another. Let's set the 992 to 001. If setting up multiple transmitters, give each transmitter its own unique number, preferably in succession for ease of use. Now, restart your 992 system. Once booted, notice that next to the transport control, there will be a flashing RX, meaning that the transmitter is now receiving a signal from the IFB100.
Now that the 992 is set up for transmission, let's go ahead and talk to Michael to test it out. All right, turn to IFB, Michael. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, gotcha. Perfect.
Great. Okay, so what's going on in this scene?
Looks like we got a two-shot. They're gonna do wide, one camera, floor to ceiling, and the other two cameras can be in tight. One person's gonna be yelling.
So you can boom this, right?
Yeah, got it.
So as Michael said, this scene has a lot of dynamic range, so I'm going to have to ride the TRX 992 input gain remotely to capture the audio.
In order to adjust the gain remotely, on the IFB100, press Menu once to access the Remote Unit ID page. This page allows you to select which transmitter to control. Earlier, we selected 001 for the TRX 992's unit ID. Let's set the unit to 001 to control it from here. Notice that you have the option of controlling all transmitters in a specified group at the same time by selecting All. Pressing Menu again will take you back to the Remote Audio Gain Change page. It should now read Group 01, Unit 001. You can now use the up and down arrow keys to remotely raise and lower the gain. Now that you see how this works, let's see it in action.
And action!
Who's ready for some football? This guy right here. Who's gonna play? He'll be here. Jeez.
You know, I just needed milk.
You know, they had a big sale, lots of people.
You know I needed milk to cook for the dinner tonight. I hope you brought me milk.
There's milk in there, I saw it.
Where's the milk?
Honey, I'm sorry. The big game is on soon. The
Oh
guy's
my
gonna be here.
gosh!
Okay, so we are now finished recording the scene and are on to a new one. The same actors are in the next scene, so instead of taking the units off of the talent and or physically turning off the transmitters to save the battery life, we can tell the IFB100 to put each unit into a low power mode, which will drastically improve battery life when not being used in a scene. On the IFB100, press Menu twice until you reach the Remote ID Unit page. This page once again allows you to control a specific transmitter depending on which number you select. In this example, Let's select 002 to turn off Natalie's transmitter. Press Menu until you advance to the Remote Power Setting Change page. This menu gives you three options. Power equals on, ensures all functionality is on in the transmitter. Power equals low 1, disables the RF amplifier in the transmitter. And power equals low 2, which disables the RF amplifier in the transmitter, the RF board, and the microphone preamp. We recommend using this setting when you want to place your transmitters in a remote power setting. This setting cuts your battery draw in half, saving the most battery life. You will notice that there are multiple power on modes. This is simply to help make sure that you do not accidentally enable a low power mode on accident. Let's set transmitter 002 to low 2. The transmitter is now in a low power mode. To wake the transmitter back up, simply change the setting to power equals on. This is one of the greatest features that this system has to offer, not only because it gives the talent the reassurance of having the transmitters off in between scenes, but it will also save you and your production company a lot in battery costs. Stay green, and please remember, recycle your used batteries.